All right, we got a special edition of Siblings Unscripted. We wanted to come back and I wanted to talk about Love is Blind. We are big fans of Love is Blind on Netflix. And they just started a new episode this past week. So they aired a few episodes, what, 1 through 7, I believe. So we're here to recap it. We're here to talk about it. I'm here to let the fellas know that it's okay to watch Love is Blind and discuss it, okay? Let's normalize dudes watching these reality shows, these dating shows, and being okay to talk about it. You guys may judge me, but I don't care because I'm going to watch it each and every single time I watch Love is Blind. I watch Married at First Sight. I watch a lot of different stuff. But I'm here, we're here, and we're here to talk about it, and we're here to give a recap of the first couple of episodes. So I'll start off, right? It's 1 through 7 episodes that just dropped. It was a snooze
Mm-hmm.
fest for me. I was struggling trying to get through these first couple episodes because I watch reality TV for the drama. I don't watch it because I want to see a great love story. I don't watch it because I want to see a magical ending. I watch it because I want to see fights. I want to see arguments. I want to see drama. And the first couple episodes of Love is Blind didn't bring that. So I was kind of disappointed. I was kind of like one of the ones that be watching the shows and kind of like fast forwarding through a couple that I may not want to hear about. Like, I'm one of those type. So if I don't get the magic that I want in the first couple episodes or within the first couple of minutes, I'm already got the remote in hand and I'm trying to fast forward. But let's talk about your thoughts and then we'll get into my thoughts and we'll talk about it as a whole. But your thoughts on the first couple episodes and what's your first impressions about the cast and what's going on right now?
So for me, I do agree with you. It did start off slow, but I think that it starts off slow because if you watch the past Love Is Blind seasons, a lot of the things that happen in the pods come up later. So like I don't fast forward like how you do. I want to see everything. So when they start talking about something later that they discuss in the pods, I'd be like, ah, she did say that. Or, oh no, they lying, type of thing. Um, I feel like this season, it's a lot of pick me girls, right? But it usually is all, but it is some girls that's from jump standing on business, and I can
Right.
appreciate that. Some of my favorites so far, I think, was Brittany. Um, Spoiler alert, she doesn't get picked, but she stood on business. She had her beliefs. She didn't like a reaction that old boy had, and she just was like, I ain't like how you reacted to this, so good luck, and that's that. Um, I like Meg, who don't want to be nobody's second choice, and she stood on business too. Um, when a lot of the couples saw each other for the first time, there was some surprises where I was like, "Oh, I don't really think they're gonna like each other," and then there was some like, oh, "Okay, I get it. They might make it." So yeah, it's and then you just have some people that we call red flags immediately. For me, David is a red flag. Like, how do you come in starting with "What's wrong with you?" Like, what?
I think
So
like
yeah.
in that aspect though, like even like in true like outside of Love is Blind, like you know the saying like when people show you who they are, you believe them the first time.
Mhm.
And speaking about David, David pretty much was insulting the women from the very beginning. And for me, like he would throw an insult out there, but the girl would just like laugh and kiki it off. I'm
Blow it
like,
off.
he's showing you exactly what type of dude he is, and you're like just totally overlooking it because either you want to get picked for the show or you just totally don't care. So I definitely agree with David. David is a walking red flag. He kind of reminds me of Matthew from the other season before when he just said like some crazy things to begin with. But you mentioned that you was kind of comparing it to the season before and where it might have been some things that was left out of the pies and they may be taking their time this season and revealing a lot of the information that we kind of missed in the prior season. So I get that they may be taking their time and they really want us to really hear what exactly transpired in these pods and how transparent people might actually be. But I'm not here for that. I don't want to. Like I'm okay with being in episode number 12 or 13 and finding out that somebody got a kid and they didn't reveal that in the pod. Like I'm okay with that. I just want to get through the first couple of episodes. I want them to pick their person and I want the drama to start immediately. I don't want to be 7 episodes into pods and people just now picking people because I think in the first 3 or 4 episodes, it's not even a couple that's even picked. Like,
Just one.
yeah, just
Yeah,
one.
no.
One that went very,
Just
very
just
quick.
one
Yeah.
that went very, very quickly. And I think that they may make it. I think it's that the couple that I said that they're kind of awkward. The Monica and Joey, the dude with the long hair.
Yes, yes, yep,
So, but I kind of felt like that was coming early. Like they were so alike, and they both kind of like weird and quirky. So they may or may not make it. I didn't really see anything that was alarming with them. But there are some couples that are quite alarming, and then there's some things that transpired that I was glad that it happened.
yeah,
Like what I can't get over, and not that I'm saying that I don't think guys should cry, but the amount of crying from these fellas on this show this season is unbelievable. It's almost like, oh my God, you crying again?
I agree.
Like, I can't take it.
Yeah, I
Like
don't think
the last season, the crier was Tyler. And look what Tyler did.
right. And the stories that they are like telling, or just the different connections that they are telling, I don't even think it's cry worthy. Like I think they're kind of just putting it on for the TV, and I'm like, ain't no way you broke down and cried over that. Like, come on, man. Like, be a man. Like, ain't no way.
They might be in love. They might be in love.
I don't think people could really fall in love just that quick. Like, and then they like
I
the
mean,
thing with David, right? Because David is like, okay, you my number one, you my number one, you my number one. David had about 3, 4 number one girls and telling them all the same thing. That's why we kind of compared him to Matthew from the prior season. Like he's telling the girls all the same thing, and as if the girls ain't gonna go back and compare notes or kind of like like say who they dating or whatever. So he kind of fell in that trap. But right off rip, what's wrong with you? That's your first question. Like if I was a female, I probably
yeah.
would have just walked out of the room. He would have been in there talking to himself. Like that was an insult. And then he
Yeah,
also
but
revealed that
you
he's a cheater too, right? That was David, right?
right.
Yes.
Yeah. So another thing that I felt that was kind of like crazy to me, um, is one of the girls, I think her name is Molly. How do you cast someone who has never been in a relationship in their life on a show like this? That means that you wanted some drama to happen, right? And
Right.
granted, she didn't get picked and she was all torn up about it, you know? And it like, and the girls this season, they a little bit like choppy. Like they was sneakily kind of like taking shots at each other and basically telling the man like, no, I talked to who you dating and such and
Right.
such. And it's just like in their heads, like I feel like the guys should have did more talking to each other. Whereas the
Yeah.
girls, they was all out like they was giving all the tea.
Well, I
Well, did
mean,
you say this
yeah.
and did you say that? The girls was dropping all the tea.
Because they kind of want to like just figure out who's dating who and trying to see if they get played. But that's kind of like
Mhm.
a first on the Love Is Blind anyway that we never really seen that before happen to where the girls was kind of comparing notes and actually going back at the guys and be like, hey, explain yourself. That I actually like. I like when the girls call out the dudes and be like, hey, you told her this and you telling me the same thing. Like that kind of started last season, but in this season it's to the 10th power and I love it.
Mhm.
I love it.
Right. Right.
But
So, but yeah, I mean, I think the way that they ended it is some red flags. Like, I know you're a short guy fan, but Daniel could be a stalker. Um, could be, but and I
allegedly,
think I
you
might
got to
have
say
told you this
allegedly.
allegedly,
We ain't
allegedly.
trying to get sued.
But what I'm gonna say is, um, if he explains his way out of it when they air the new episodes, and he really didn't look at her profile or he really didn't remember her, and they end up together and she can't accept it but stays with him, I fought her because at that point, I'm not trying to hear that no more, sir. I mean, ma'am, just if you stay with him because you believe he knew what you looked like the whole time and you feel like your connection was based off of lies, and you stay with him after he explained himself, then miss, that's your fault.
Right.
And then I think it's gonna be like kind of spicy when they all meet each other. Especially, the Devin, Virginia, Brittany situation, because, Brittany stood on business. Like, I told you something about me and I felt judged, so never mind, basically, is what she said.
Yeah, and that whole conversation was kind of weird because he kind of like shared something about himself as well, that he was addicted to ibuprofen.
Ibuprofen.
Yeah, and I Chat GPT said you cannot be addicted to ibuprofen, and Chat GPT is always right. So that kind of
It's
was a
not always
crazy
right, but
story. I think he maybe was allegedly maybe addicted to something else, and he kind of like PG'd it for Netflix, which is cool, but I'm not sure if Virginia actually bought that story or not. I mean, and then he's sitting up there crying and stuff like that. So he kind of sold the story, but
yeah.
it's another situation where someone says something on Love Is Blind and you gotta like side eye it a little bit because you
Mhm.
ain't dumb. Like you was born at night, but you weren't born last night. Like
Right.
ibuprofen, my guy. Are you serious? It's like
Yeah.
David on Married at First Sight. Like it was food. What?
Right.
Like
Right.
that was terrible. But
And then I'm gonna tell you what's gonna be another issue I think in the coming thing. So Ben and Sarah. Ben is the one who doesn't pay any attention to politics, but his girl believes in certain movements, right? So
mm,
when they come out of the pods and they're living in real life, and he blows off real serious issues, it's a wrap for him. And I can see him saying like, "That's none of my business, so I don't care and I don't follow it." I can see him saying it outside of the pods. He's saying in the pods that he's gonna be better and do better. But like you said in the beginning, when a person shows you who they are, believe him. And he
right,
probably just don't care. Like he said, he didn't even vote. So, ma'am, I don't know where you're gonna go with that. You can't be teaching a man to be a man.
right.
So,
And that's just like I said, that's just another situation where he told her in the pods that he don't really get that deep into stuff, and she was just sitting there trying to be like, okay, well, what about this? What about this? And he told her on many occasions that he still didn't care about
mhm,
any of that. So
right.
that pretty much was a red flag right there that you're going against your core values and you are getting involved with a dude who don't align with you right off the bat. And he kind of told you that. So
Mhm.
if you do guys do fight about that later on in the season, you can't be mad because he told you. Like he
Right.
told you
Right.
what was up and how he felt about that. But I forgot about them as a couple. Um,
Right.
yeah, forgot about them.
And so I'm gonna tell you one of the things that I thought was hilarious. Madison pretty much tried to sabotage the whole like other relationship, right? And then
Right,
at the end of the day, she wanted Alex so bad, but he couldn't get over her personality type. And it was like, sir, you don't really need to be on this show because you can't see past one little thing. And so she left crying because he didn't propose. But I think this season, different from some of the other seasons, I think some of the people who liked each other in the pods, when the season other episodes come out, I think some of them actually do end up finding each other and linking up and maybe hooking up and stuff like that.
maybe so. And I think this season also was kind of different compared to other seasons, where there was actually people who not only stood on business but kind of just rejected the whole experience anyway. To be like, okay, well, I tried it; it wasn't really for me. You're not my person, even though I thought you was. Like again, shout out to Meg, shout out to even Madison, but Madison tried to play the field a little bit because once she found out that
She did.
Mason wasn't going to pick her, she tried to go back to Alex because
Yeah.
they always really seeing each other. It's like one big old love triangle. But once they found out who the other person was picking or liked or who was number one, they kind of like tried to double back a little bit, and that's how Madison got her feelings hurt. So
Mhm.
because she tried to double back with Alice, and even sitting in that room in the last episode, she was still hoping that he was going to
Yep.
propose. Like if he would have proposed, she would have
She
been
was gonna
totally
say
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, she was going to say yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was gonna be
So
totally okay with it because, like I said, once she found out Mason wasn't gonna pick her, then she went back, and I thought Madison and Mason was actually gonna be a good couple, and
yeah.
I thought they was really gonna like kick it
No,
off
I
and
think that he
propose.
was. Yeah, I think that Meg was his pick, but I think he spoke too soon when he was telling Madison. I think he got scared that Madison was gonna be like, "I'm not feeling you," but what he didn't realize was that they was gonna go talk about it. So he
Right.
kind of shot himself in the
Even
foot.
David didn't realize that they was going to talk about it. He's like, "Oh, I didn't want to get up in the girl drama." I'm like, bro, like you had to know that women was going to talk about it and compare notes, especially when they got down to the end. But I would say that this season, as a whole, it seemed like the women made sure that they said things or did things to make sure that they got picked by the guy. Like there were certain things in
Mhm.
conversations that they had in the pods, and I'm like, well, that's pretty much a trigger for a dude. And if you start talking about that this early on, he's gonna be very curious. He's gonna be very interested in you. Like that's pretty much gonna
Right.
like move you to the top of the list. Like even talking about like the sexual things that they was talking about. Like I think it
But
was
I
a
do think
dude,
it's important for them to talk about that stuff though.
maybe, but if this
Like get it
experience,
all out now.
but if this experience was as early as they proclaim that it is, you're not talking all that sexual stuff on day one or day two, like nothing like that. And then they always ask questions to try to get the female to kind of like reveal themselves and stuff like that. Characteristics like this is Love Is
Mhm.
Blind. Why are you asking that type of question? Like if you ask a chick what's her favorite costume for Halloween, you're trying to figure out if she is like
Mhm.
sexy type costumes? Do she like sexy type costumes, or does she like just friendlier type costumes? Like that's kind of a trick question to get women into like revealing that type of aspect of their life. Like,
Right.
and you ain't
Right.
expecting them to be like, oh, I go as a nun. No, no, no. You want to hear
Right.
her say, oh, I go as Harley Quinn or something like that, or a sexy nurse or something like that. Like that's a sexual type question. You don't ask that type of question early on in the process. And if I was like out there like that, it may be kind of different because these people are kind of young, so they still ain't like in their early, like mid 20s, early 30s. So I kind of see
Mhm.
that aspect of them like that, and why they maybe ask those type of questions because it's kind of they're like dogs in heat at that age. So I get it, but it's kind of early to be asking those type of questions in that situation, especially when you're on Love Is Blind. Like you ain't supposed to be trying to have the girl describe herself, right? It's
Right.
supposed to be all
Right.
about her personality. But
Well, we're gonna see what happens because some of the previews that I saw, I was like, oh, we might get some fireworks this season.
right, and let's talk about one of the biggest things that we always bring up when we first see Love Is Blind is these people damn job titles. I don't think any of these people work. Like these job titles are not even believable. Like, come on, man.
Well, an oncology nurse, that makes sense.
Right,
Um, it was another one. One person said she was an executive assistant, which is essentially that's a secretary.
right.
Um, medical sales devices or whatever that was. Now I don't know what that is.
Medical or educational sales. Somebody's an educational
Yeah,
sales. Like you go around
what
selling
is
books
that?
or something, or you are in charge of the book
Who
fair.
knows?
You know how they have book fair at some of the schools sometimes. Or like, are you in charge of that? Media
Right,
planner and stuff like that. Healthcare recruiter, Virginia. Like I get that. That's probably an HR person or whatever.
right.
Product sales manager. Like what the hell is that? Fashion director, co-owner. If you was a co-owner, you would not be on Love Is Blind. Commercial real
Right.
estate broker. Okay, I get
That
that.
just means you sell houses.
Right. Well, Brad was a dentist, but he didn't even make it. But
No.
Daniel is Daniel, allegedly, he's a sales account executive, and I feel like we get that title a lot on Love Is Blind,
Yep.
but we don't really know what it is.
Probably because they can't really say where they work and what they do on the show. But hey,
Right.
it. I hope that at least one or two couples make it, but I don't know. They on rough ground.
Yeah. And Devin himself is a youth director coach. That could
That makes sense.
that makes sense.
I mean, if you're a coach, he could work for a school or some type of AAU league or you never know.
Maybe. And Mason, he's
Look,
a photographer, which he should just came out and just said that. You
yeah,
ain't got to add the cinema in front of that. Like, bro, you're a photographer, dog. That's okay. That sounds believable.
right,
But these job titles
but
kill me. They are a little bit more better this season than last season, but I still side eye a lot of these titles. But we will know
mhm,
like they really got a job once they go back to the house, once they go
right,
back to the city, and where not they clock out or they be like, all right, I got to go to work or honey, I'm home. Then we'll know.
right.
But these job
So,
titles, they got to improve on these.
mhm,
They got to
okay.
improve. So, by the end of what episode 7, they did pick some people.
Yeah, everybody is picked by the end of these episodes that was released. So
What's your take on Devin and Virginia?
I think that he picked a safe bet. Virginia's safe, in my opinion. I think she deserves better.
Then Devin.
Yep.
I think once Virginia actually saw him in the reveal, I don't think that she really was into him because she never looked at him in
I
his eye. He gave her all those
I think that
compliments.
she's no, I think that she is just trying to take it all in. She may or may not be attracted to him, but if love is blind, then he'll grow on her. But it's something about when they met that I was just like something's wrong, but
Right.
I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you as far as that he is going to have to grow on her because she was giving those type of vibes. Like I said, he gave her all those compliments, and the most important thing that she said back to him was that his eyes look good. Like he gave her at least 50 something compliments. You look beautiful. You were better than I expected. Yada yada yada. And she couldn't even look at him. So I don't think she's attracted to him.
I
She's
think she was
probably
I
disappointed.
think she was in shock.
This is a girl who dated ball players, NBA players, and I think she was a dancer
Hence
for
why
one of
she was
the.
in shock.
She was a dancer for one of the NBA teams. She's used to being around people and guys. So again, like I said, she's just not into him. He is not as cute as some of those other
The
people that
reason
she
why
used
I'm
to.
saying she was in shock is because he's saying that he's big in ball, right? So he's not what she thought he was gonna be when she saw him. So she was in shock.
Maybe, probably so. Because yeah, he did say he was a ball player, right? Like he played
Yeah.
basketball. You don't look like,
Mhm.
bro. Played
He don't
basketball
look like
maybe
it, but
back in high
whatever.
school or something, but definitely
Nah.
don't look like he
Yeah.
he played basketball currently. So that's crazy. Lauren, Lauren and Molly. Was it Lauren and Molly that was battling for David? I
Mhm.
like Lauren. I do. I think she's gonna get hurt a little bit by David because
Yeah. More than a little bit.
yeah, I think she ignored his red flags, and even she was kind of caught back by some of the things he said to her in the pods,
Mhm.
and yet she still was begging for his attention at the end to get picked. I like her though. I like her. I like her over Molly. Molly probably got a little bit confident. She got a little bit cocky and thought that she really was going to be David's choice, and
And then
David
she
was
had to
like,
come back and cry about it.
she did, yeah, yeah. So I think maybe David picked Lauren just because, but he
We'll see.
claimed he didn't pick Molly because Molly went back and was talking. Like that's what he said.
He was mad.
He was yeah, he was
He was
mad.
mad.
Oh, and Madison is an artist. What the hell is that?
Yeah. Like she draws and paints. Remember she had the paintbrush?
Oh, did she?
Oh, but you wouldn't realize that because you be fast forwarding
Hey,
through
if she was
all this
sitting up
stuff.
there drawing some shit, I probably did fast forward past it. Cause I'm like, look, you ain't fighting nobody, you ain't talking to nobody.
No, when they
Fast forward.
exchanged gifts, she gave him a used paintbrush.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I probably fast forward past that part for sure. Hey, I
Oh
don't
yeah.
watch it for a love story. I don't watch it to hear magical
I
stories.
watch it in totality. I want to hear all the things.
So, out of all the things that you have claimed that you have heard, what is the most shocking thing that you've heard?
Um, I didn't hear anything shocking this season yet. That was just like,
Just boom.
um, no, nothing yet.
I would say for me is the honesty of David. Again, he walked in there and asked the girl, "So why are you on Love Is Blind? What's wrong with you?" And then he's like, "Yeah, I'm here, but in my past relationships, I pretty much has treated females pretty bad." Red flag. Like the man gave you three or
Mm.
four red flags right off the rip, and you guys just laughed it
Well,
off.
yeah, but that's no different from some of the past season. That's what I'm saying. It's not shocking to me. He gave up who he was in the beginning. So now we just gotta see where it's gonna play out.
Right. Like I'm a cheater. Oh, okay, cool. And Monica went with Joey, right? Is that right?
The two little dancing couples, yeah.
Right. And Meg, she
They
pretty
like to
much
dance.
we talked about Meg. She stood on business and she was like, "I'm out." I
Yeah.
respect her a lot. I respect Meg. I respect Brittany a little bit.
Brittany.
Um, who else? Molly was it? Like I said,
No,
I was shocked that the female
Molly
stood
went
up to
out
the
like a
men.
nut.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the female stood up to the men, and even Alex. Like he could have wanted to go on with the show and probably pick somebody, but he chose not to. And that's kind of surprising to me because you on TV. So when you want to continue to go on to the vacation, all you had to do was just pick Madison, and you guys would have probably been on a nice little vacation. You figure things out as you go along. But he was like, nah,
Yeah.
nah. I don't know if I get past
I
that.
just think that yeah, no, he couldn't. She was what did she call it?
Avoidance or
I
something like
forgot.
that.
Yeah, avoidant. Yeah.
Yeah. Which that was my first
So
time even hearing anything about that
me
type of
too. I
grid.
googled it right away. I googled it right away. I was doing all the research. Like, what is that?
We had to have a different video about that and go through and see which ones that we are and give our reasons. But because I was like, dude, what? I mean, do you think that's kind of shallow of him though?
No.
No. Okay.
Mm-mm.
All right. And I told you this before, but I definitely was rooting for Daniel because he's a short king. You know what I'm saying? So I was rooting for him until the end. Hopefully, he explains himself and we can get back on good terms
I
again.
hope
But
he do.
yeah, so
Because even the look on his face when she was telling him, I think my issue is he didn't look surprised.
right.
It was like, oh yeah, I did follow you. Oh yeah, I did read your profile. Oh yeah, I did realize it was you that I read your profile. Like he didn't give any explanations and he wasn't shocked. So I just really need him to explain himself.
I guess.
And once
Also,
he explained himself, if she hung up on it, they ain't gonna make it.
but also think that it don't take 24 hours to realize that. Like, if he really stood out to you like that when those doors open, you would have been like, wait a minute. You would have backed up a little bit and be like, wait a minute. I think I
No,
know
you wouldn't
him.
have. Not in the moment. Not in the moment. I
She
don't
over
think
there
she would
kissing
have.
that man and all that stuff like that. What you mean? A trigger don't go off?
Listen, I think when she sat there and she sat there and she thought about it, like you just be like, oh, where do I? You don't. And she didn't know off the top, right? And when you
Mm.
first meet somebody that you've been talking to in the pods, and your first instinct is to kiss them and stuff, but when you sit and you're to yourself and you have time, all that time to think about it, yeah, she started thinking about like, what if he'd been lying the whole time? It's suspect. And
I
like I
don't know
said, I
how
hope
he
he
can
got a
put
good
all that
explanation.
together through a screen. I don't know. I don't know how you can put all that together.
I'm not saying that he waited for her to get there and then was like, I'm gonna wait until I talk to this person. I'm saying that when they got in the pods after he had talked to some people and then he started talking to her and he said that he had like some type of memory. Once he realized it was her, I think he zoned in on her.
Mm, maybe. I mean, that's an
But
interesting
we'll
dynamic.
see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see
Yeah, we're
about
gonna
that.
see.
Sarah was with who? I'm looking at her picture up here. Sarah was with who was with?
Ben, the political guy. Yeah,
Oh,
we already went through all of those. So
yeah,
now we just gotta wait for these other episodes to drop. We probably have to do another episode to when everything is done and over with. And then we can also come on and talk about Married at First Sight on another
yeah. That could be
episode.
a
Not
whole
today
nother
though.
episode. So,
Yeah, not today.
um, all right, who's your favorite? Right quick, you got a favorite?
Hmm. Favorite in terms of drama is gonna be David and his girl. Favorite in terms of probably gonna make it. Begrudgingly, I'm gonna say Virginia and Devin. But yeah, because I feel like she's gonna be so complacent on, you know, accepting him for who he is and forgiving and all this. I think he gonna do something. They gonna work through it, and she gonna forgive him, and that's gonna be it.
I got them two as my couple that's going to probably bring the most drama. Is
Devin and
Devin and
his girl.
Virginia. Devin and Virginia, yeah. And also David and Lauren. Cause like I said, I like Lauren. I think she is really gonna get hurt, unfortunately, in this situation. But she had the red flags and she just overlooked them. But David, David's a trip. I look forward to some more one-liners from him and some more disrespectful type stuff that he's gonna be on. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the drama and stuff like that. If I had to pick a couple that probably was going to make it all the way to the end, it's probably going to be that Joey and Monica couple.
Oh, the boring couple. Yeah,
So do you?
it's always the boring couples that make it.
Are you going to zoom past them when they come on the screen? Then.
No, I watch it all.
All right, so I guess we had to come back and once they release some more episodes out this upcoming Friday. But that's my reaction to episodes 1 through 7 of Love Is Blind. That's my sister's reaction to episodes 1 through 7 as well. I look forward to having more of these videos, and I look forward to the drama that is going to unfold on Love Is Blind. I want to see if the drama can top season 7.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little spicy.
It's gonna be a little bit spicy. So make sure you guys drop a comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you know when to go live. And if you're watching Love Is Blind season 8, and you had the same reactions that we did, make sure you drop a comment and let us know how you felt about it so far. And we'll add to these videos in the future. Catch you guys on the next upload.